Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Ozchris, here with reviews on the Green Lantern number 4 and Justice League number 17. So starting off with good old Green Lantern. Who prevails when the Knight of Light meets the Queen of Night, the cosmic vampire's beautiful daughter? So starting off, we have this mysterious figure who's revealed to be Countess Belzebeth, I think her name is. Yes, Belzebeth. Countess Belzebeth, who is using a wild Sun Eater in order to blackmail these ant people. Weird looking ant people, of course. Morrison's doing, of course. We have to see the weird parts of the cosmic side of the DC universe, of course. But this is part of a story. This is part of a conversation between this mysterious four-armed cowboy-looking alien and one of the Black Stars who Cowboy Alien wants to join up with, and they're both telling each other's stories. So this Black Star is telling the story of what Countess Belzebeth is doing, but the main part is what the cowboy is telling him about how these Sun Eaters were dealt by Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern. So that is the main part of the story. After the events of the previous issue where Hal killed a slave trader and just told everyone, it's just like, hey, I had to do what I had to do, okay? You know, you would have done it as well. You know, he's an evil, despicable creature. He deserved what he did. So, but before all of that has been dealt with, they have to deal with the Sun Eaters, but at the same time, the Guardians of the Universe want to deal with Hal Jordan for what he did. You know, kind of slightly justified what he. I can understand why Hal did it, but he still technically broke Green Lantern law by killing an unarmed perpetrator. So, as that's just the main part of this story. Sorry, yeah, just going through just the adventures of Hal and the Green Lanterns dealing with the Sun Eater, and then Hal getting repercussions for the actions he committed at the end of the previous issue, and leading into him joining the Black Stars as it is. Definitely another good issue. It's interesting that it's kind of so far almost everything is kind of, every issue is kind of its own story, but there is a slight overarching arc that connects them, and it has to deal with Countess Belzebeth and the Black Stars, to which Hal is now joining. For some reason, it's Hal. I don't think he's purposely quitting the Green Lanterns. He's obviously going undercover. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Art as always by Sharp and Olaf. Great. Is it still Sharp and yes? Yeah. Art by Sharp and coloring by Steve Olaf. Yes, great as usual. You know, you still got in pages just the weird parts of DC's cosmic universe as well with Grant Morrison. It's Grant Morrison. It's a staple to see that stuff. But I've been enjoying and I've been having fun with the Green Lantern so far. So another good issue of that one. And on to Justice League. Justice League number 17. The Good, the Bad, and the Dragons. Dragons make any story better. So going on to it, I do like the cover. It's kind of almost a final showdown between the two with dragons involved. So Martian Manhunter has invited Lex to Mars to help him search for someone that John Jones knew as a boy and is part of the Legionnaire Club that Lex was investigating. And trouble ensures, because Lex disables Jaro, which Martian Manhunter was using for a legit reason, because of these dragons, the Quonars, these kind of underground land dragons that are drawn to regret and emotional energy. So that's the main part of the main present day stuff, and we go to years ago, exploring this whole backstory of John was using an experiment to combine human and Martian DNA to create or to recreate the Abomination, the creatures that used to be part of Perpetua's great army, and how he befriends one of the kids there, who, as he calls him, Albie. They develop a very quick and nice friendship with one another, pretending to save the day, be heroes, etc. And while going on present day, a whole fight between an argument between Lex and Martian Manhunter ensures, while he's retelling the story of his friendship with Albie. And won't spoil it, but the two are able to escape, and with what Lex has just discovered, Martian Manhunter is trying to appeal to him to investigate, to deal with the whole totality, Perpetua and all that together, but it fails. Of course it's going to fail, but I'll leave it there. Art, as always, art and coloring by Chung and... by Chung and the team is great as always. Definitely enjoyed it. Another good issue, kind of finishing off this whole, the 3-part lore arc, as I kind of call it. It's been going into the lore, and also touching upon the whole Lex Luthor and Martian Manhunter, the rivals between each other for each group. So like Lex has always been a Superman villain, but since like the end of No Justice and the start of Justice League, they've been setting him up against Martian Manhunter, and this issue explains why. There's a connection between the two. If you want to know, read it. Definitely read it. I've been enjoying Justice League. I've said this numerous times. It's one of the best titles coming out of DC, and it's good to see we get an explanation as to why there's this connection, why Lex and John Jones have been set up as rivals to one another. Lex leading the Legion of Doom, John technically leading the Justice League. He's the chairman. So these two almost not particularly similar characters, why they are rivaled against one another. It's all explained pretty much in this issue. Everything that was started, like I said, at the end of No Justice, since the start of Justice League #1 of Snyder's run, it all comes to this, and it's all explained, and doesn't really kind of continuity wise, doesn't really mess with continuity, as they kind of explain how it all happens, etc. Just read it. Just read it and you'll find out why. And that's it for those two. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.